I have not been in the studio in weeks, and I'm eager to get out here. And it's a nice warm spring day, February day here in Texas, and so it's time to get to cutting. And I wanted to show you the project that I was going to work on. So I have this, which is a wooden tray that I got at just at an arts and crafts store. It was originally $40, but it was marked 75% off, so I just got it for 10. And it's got a nice 1/4-inch lip here, and I thought it would be cool to make an inset of glass and sell this as a, even as a food tray or as just a decorative item. And I've got a spring show coming up, and it's Texas, and bluebonnet season is here, so I want to do something that's more of a bluebonnet kind of approach to that. So right now I'm trying to think through my glass choice, and I thought I'd just turn on the camera and kind of talk out loud and think it through. I've got this piece, which is a limited special edition that was done in 2017 from Bullseye. Warm white and steel jade. And I just think that this is really pretty and could make a nice background for a floral, kind of spring floral piece. Now, a couple things about this glass. And so first, if you're not familiar, Bullseye has a lot of extensive resources on their website about their glass. They have a lot of resources, even if you don't use their glass, that are still fun to read, but and they're free. But they have a lot of firing notes and details about their glass. There's a whole page that's called About Our Glass. And if you look up steel jade, one of the components in here, and you're familiar, you recognize this is the one that can turn silver on you, just like steel blue does. And so at certain firing temperatures, it can be somewhat unpredictable. Now it keeps its green if you're gonna cap it with clear, and that's what I think intending to do for my piece as I think about the the layup of what I want to do here. But it's also, just as you think through doing something like this, again, I'm going to cap with clear, so it's not a concern, but you also have to think about food safety, particularly if you're going to sell it as a platter. In the case of Bullseye, this is warm white and steel jade. Neither one of those are on their list of cadmium or lead glass. So just firing this as it is, I think it would be food safe. But again, I'm going to cap it with clear anyway. When you read the firing notes for this, it turns steel color at slump temperatures, tack temperatures. I think I'm going to do a full fuse because I want my piece to be nice and flat for a platter purpose. And I'm going to cap it with clear, so I'm not too concerned about losing this green. Something else, though, that's interesting, if you want to get the silver, the firing notes specifically say that this green can kind of work odd with things like adhesives. So I'm a little worried about these stickers, but glass tack, even glass cleaner, even though you've wiped it off, it says sometimes that the image can ghost and you can still see that. I've had that happen with steel blue before. I looked at the steel blue, looked perfectly clear and clean, and I cleaned it really well, and I fired it, and there was a price tag sticker that you could see, and you could even read the handwriting from some marker that was on there. Even though I had cleaned it and you couldn't see any of that when you fired it, it came out. So again, because I'm covering this with clear, I'm not as concerned, but these are the types of things you have to think about when you're firing your projects. So for me, I'm going to cut a circle of this out. Fingers crossed. It's, again, generally warm in the studio. Feels like good room temperature, so I think I should have some luck cutting this glass. I'm going to cut a circle of this. I'm going to cut a circle of clear to match. And then I'm going to start to build my piece, and I'll kind of share that along the way. All right, real happy with how that turned out. I already love the look of this glass inside this piece of wooden tray. I think it's really cool. So I got the base piece cut. I've got my circle of Tecta cut. I will build my floral panel on top of this and do the whole full fuse in one shot. And I don't know if you saw it, it may have been too quick in the time lapse, but I was able to get that circle out of here perfectly. I anticipated I could try that. I always want to try that. So I actually centered this the best I could. And now instead of having a piece of scrap, I think I have a really cool piece that I'm going to use as a design element sometime for a future project. So I'm going to very carefully put this away so I don't break it. but I think that's really cool. And then I get questions all the time about what kind of tools I'm using. And so for those of you who are interested, this is the Toyo circle cutter. And there you go. This is the 25-inch one. I got this wholesale from Ed Hoy about a year ago. I think it was last March when I bought it. You've seen me use different circle cutters over the years, and I still have them. But I'd like to try different ones and kind of come up with something that I really love. And this one I really love. Now this one, you can put oil in it. I don't do that. And in fact, you may have seen I didn't even oil it before I cut. I did not oil my glass. I don't know. I probably should be, but I'm just not good about that. And I think it kind of makes a mess, and sometimes I don't think it's necessary. So again, I got this one wholesale from Ed Hoy, but lots of retailers sell it. For your convenience, I put it on my Amazon store if you're interested in finding it over there. Price is probably comparable to where it is elsewhere. As you know, prices on Amazon fluctuate all the time, so it's hard to predict exactly what it's going to be. So do your own comparison shopping. And thank you again for supporting my free videos by going to Amazon. I do not get, I get a commission from Amazon, a small commission, but it helps, you know, pay for products that I'm featuring in videos and such, and it costs nothing extra to you. So now I'm going to build out the floral panel and show you what that looks like. All right, so here's what I did. This piece went into the kiln as is, and I did a nice tacky, almost contour fuse on this piece. I went to 1375 for 13 minutes, which happens to be the exact schedule that I absolutely love when I'm doing bluebonnet pieces under normal circumstances. So, and I had several others I put in with it. So I fired this, and here's my thought process. So remember, this is going to be a platter, and so while I always love this texture, I don't know if you can see all of that I get on these pieces, that doesn't make for a very good platter. So I do need to full fuse this and try to get it as flat as possible. And so, but I'm concerned that if I just full fused it like this, that this, you know, pile of frit in the middle is going to spread out, and these things are going to get pretty distorted and kind of blobby and weird, I think. And so my thought was I put this in at the tack fuse so that everything is now stuck to it perfectly well. And then I'm going to fire it upside down on the kiln shelf, well, on paper, on thin fire papyrus, and put it down. And then I'm going to dust this with clear powder and then put my backing piece to it. And I'm going to full fuse it face down. And what that should do for me, hopefully, is this will all fuse with a little bit more of the structure and definition, and it's not going to spread out so much. Now that will require then another firing. I'll have to take it out, clean it up, dust it with some more powder, and then do a fire polish on the top so that I get a nice clean sheen to it. But in theory, I think that's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and take it into the next firing. So in the end, I mean, I'm not slumping this, but that'll be 3 firings. That's not too much, not overboard. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pieces of glass cleaned up. I'm going to get this onto the kiln shelf and get some powder on it and fire it to a full fuse this time. We'll see what it looks like when it comes out. Crossing my fingers, a little bit of an experiment here, but I think, you know, I've fired some stuff face down before when it was water jets, and it's worked really well to keep the definition. So I'm hoping basically for the same effect here with my frit flowers. All right, so this has come out of the kiln after a full fuse. I took it up to 1475 for 20 minutes. And it's perfect. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that the bluebonnets on the clear creates a little depth. You can't see that in the photos or in the video as much, but there's almost this like 3D effect because it's floating above this background glass, which is just also beautiful. And so there's some texture to this because it was face down. So I'm going to flip it. I'm going to clean this up really well, put a little bit of clear powder on it, and do a fire polish of this, and then it'll be done. But I'm real pleased. I think if I had done the full fused face up, I just don't think I would have kept the shapes that I really wanted here. This gives me basically exactly the effect that I had anticipated. I don't even see any bubbles in here, and there's just a few tiny ones right there. So I'm real pleased with the schedule and the bubble squeeze and all the things. I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and back in the kiln, and then I'll show you the finished piece when it comes out. Here it is, fire polished out of the kiln. Super happy. See that? See that glare? I wish I could get rid of some of that glare, but great fire polish on this. Super, super pleased, and it fits very nicely right down into this piece. Now, you know, there's a little wiggle room, and that's fine. I'm not actually going to fix it to the wood because I think that makes it hard for people to wash it. You get risk water getting under it and stuff, so it'll be sold just like this. But I love the way this looks. If you enjoyed this, please make sure that you're following along by subscribing to my channel. I've also created a new link tree, so I'm often referring you to my Amazon store, to my store, to a variety of different suppliers. So if you look here on my YouTube page, you'll also see now that there's a new link tree that collects all of those links for you. It makes it a little easier for you to find where I'm at and what I'm buying. Hope you're enjoying this. Take care, everybody. Catch you later. Bye-bye.